What is the importance of the findings about what happened below the Kashi Gyanvapi Mosque / Mandir? This is the presence of one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. So before we jump into the details of what was found in the ASI report, I want to kind of touch upon what exactly is a Jyotirlinga. I just want to have a complete understanding of this for all our viewers. There are 12 Jyotirlings, and I'm going to give you all the details. But how did this come about? Well, thousands of years ago, and this is related in Shiv Puran, that Vishnu and Brahma were each saying that they were the most powerful, and both were arguing back and forth. And then Lord Shiva came there, and then they said, well, why don't you tell us who is the most powerful? And then Shiva said, okay, I am going to create this infinite pillar of light. Both of you can go and tell me where you find the end of it. And this is what whoever finds it will be the person who's more powerful. So he created this infinite pillar of light. This pillar of light pierced through the three lokas, Bhu, Swargaloka and Patalaloka. And then both Vishnu and Brahma set off to find it. After a while, they both returned. Vishnu said, I'm sorry, I could not find the end. But Brahma lied and said, yes, I found it. Then Shiva got very angry at Brahma and he cursed that you will not be worshipped anywhere in the world. That's why we don't see temples for Brahma. Then he also created 64 pillars, infinite pillars. And of these, 12 are called major pillars, and these are also called as Jyotirlings. Now let's take a look at which are the 12 Jyotirlings. Somnath in Gir, Gujarat, Mallikarjuna Jyotirlinga in Sree Sailam, Mahakaleshwar Jyotirlinga in Ujjain, Omkareshwar Jyotirlinga in Khandwa, Madhya Pradesh, Baidyanath Jyotirlinga in Deoghar, Jharkhand, Bhimshankar Jyotirlinga in Maharashtra, Linga, Ling is northern pronunciation, Linga is southern, Ramanatha Swami Jyotirlinga in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, Nageshwar Jyotirling in Dwarka, Gujarat, Kashi Vishwanath Jyotirling in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, Grishneshwar Jyotirling in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, Trayambakeshwara Jyotirling in Nasik, Maharashtra, and Kedarnath Jyotirling in Rudraprayag. As far as I can tell, Ramanatha Swami and Mallikarjuna Swami temples are Dravidian in architecture, and all the others are Nagara. I haven't checked each and every one of them. If there is any difference, please do let me know. Most of them look like Nagara architecture to me. Now let's take a look at the details from the ASI report. Varanasi District Court commissioned ASI to conduct a scientific survey of Gyanvapi Mosque Complex in July 2023. The report, given to all parties in the case, has concluded that there existed a Hindu temple before the construction of the existing structure. Scientific exploration was conducted in and around the existing structure, excluding the Wuzu Pond area sealed by the Supreme Court order. Let's now find out what the survey says. There was a pre-existing structure. Several pre-existing structures were found which prove that there existed a large Hindu temple before the construction of the existing mosque. The central chamber found temple had a big central chamber and at least one chamber to the north, south, east and west respectively. The remains of three chambers to the north, south and west still exist, but the chambers remains to the east and any further extension of it could not be ascertained physically as the area is covered under a platform with stone flooring. So this will have to be taken out for them to do further investigation. I don't know if that's needed. Central chamber of the pre-existing structure forms the central hall of the existing structure. It's a pretty big Hindu temple. This structure with thick and strong walls, along with all architectural components and floral decorations, was used as a main hall of the mosque. Animal figures carved at the lower ends of the decorated arches of the pre-existing structure were mutilated, and the inner part of the dome is decorated with geometric designs. The main entrance to the central chamber of the temple was from the west, which was blocked by stone masonry. This entrance was decorated with carvings of animals and birds and an ornamental torna. This large arched gateway had another smaller entrance. The figure carved on the Lalit Bimba of this small entrance has been chopped off. This is something that they used to do, the Muslim invaders. They would take, they'll just use iron to basically disfigure all the sculptures. Now let's take a look at Western Chamber. Eastern half of the Western Chamber still exists, whereas the superstructure of the western half has been destroyed. This chamber was also connected with north and south chambers through a corridor accessible from its north and south entrances respectively. Remains of this corridor in the northwest side came to light on removal of garbage and debris. There was a lot of garbage and debris. Western wall. The western wall of the existing structure is the remaining part of a pre-existing Hindu temple. This wall, made of stones and decorated with horizontal moldings, is formed by remaining parts of western chamber, western projections of the central chamber, and western walls of the two chambers on its north and south. You have to understand the spatial orientation, guys. North, south, west, right? This is for me. I mean, as I see it. For you, it will be the lateral inversion of that. Central chamber attached to the wall still exists unchanged, whereas modifications have been made to both the side chambers. All these chambers had an opening in all the four directions. Continuing with the western wall, decorated arched entrances of central, north, south chambers towards the west have been blocked. The arched openings of the north and south halls were converted into steps leading to the roof. Steps made in the arched entrance of the north hall are still in use. Steps made in the arched entrance of the south hall were blocked by stone masonry at the roof. Pillars and pilasters. A pillar decorated with bells, niches for keeping lamps on all four sides and bearing an inscription of Samvat 1669 corresponding to 1613 CE, January 1st Friday, is reused in cellar and 2. For the enlargement of the mosque and constructing Sahan, parts of the pre-existing temple, including pillars and pilasters, were reused with little modifications. A detailed study of the pillars, pilasters in the corridor suggests that they were originally part of a pre-existing Hindu temple. Let's take a look at the pillars and pilasters. For their reuse in the existing structure, Vyala figures carved on either side of lotus medallion were mutilated, and after removing the stone mask from the corners, that space was decorated with floral design. This observation is supported by two similar pilasters still existing on the northern and southern walls of the western chamber in their original place. What were the inscriptions found? During the survey, a total of 34 inscriptions recorded during the present survey and 32 stamp pages were taken. These are, in fact, inscriptions on the stones of the pre-existing Hindu temples, which have been reused during the construction repair of the existing structure. They include inscriptions in Devanagari, Grantha, Telugu, and Kannada script. Grantha, by the way, is Tamil, but there is no gap at all. There is no space character. It's all one big line with all the characters. I can read it, but with difficulty. Inscriptions found. The reuse of earlier inscriptions in the structure suggests that the earlier structures were destroyed and their parts were reused in the construction repair of the existing structure. Three names of the deities such as Janardhana, Rudra, and Umeswara are found in these inscriptions. Terms such as Maha Mukti Mandapa, mentioned in three inscriptions, is of great significance. Inscriptions are also found on loose stone. More on inscriptions. An inscription engraved on a loose stone recorded construction of the mosque in the 20th regnal year of Hadrat Alamgir, that is Mughal Emperor Aurangazeb, corresponding to AH 1087, that is 1676-77 CE. So if you think of this original temple as having been constructed in 1613, so 64 years the temple was there and then it was pulled down. This inscription also recorded that in the year 1207, 1792 to 93 CE, Common Era, the mosque was repaired with Sahan, etc. This is the latter Mughal king, I guess. During the recent survey, this stone with inscription was recovered from a room in the mosque. However, the lines relating to construction of the mosque and its expansion have been scratched out. This is also brought out by the biography of Emperor Aurangazeb, 𝗤𝗚𝘗𝘀𝘆 which mentions that Aurangazeb issued orders to the governors of all the provinces to demolish the schools and temples of the infidels. Jadunnath Sarkar's 1947 𝗤𝗚𝘗𝘆 pages 51 to 52. On September 2, 1669, it was reported that according to Emperor's command, his officers had demolished the temple of Vishwanath at Kashi. Jadunnath Sarkar again, 1947. Sculptural remains. A series of cellars were also constructed to the east and to create additional space and a large platform in front of the mosque for accommodating a large number of people for prayers. A pillar decorated with bells, niches for keeping lamps on all four sides, and bearing an inscription of 𝗤𝙭𝙬 1669 corresponding to 1613 CE January 1st Friday is reused in cellar N2. Sculptures of Hindu deities and carved architectural members were found buried under the dumped soil in cellar S2. I'm assuming N2 means northern cellar 2 and S2 is southern cellar 2. Now let's take a look at the nature of the sculptures. Existing architectural remains, decorated moldings on the wall, Karna Ratha and Prathi Ratha of central chamber, a large decorated entrance gate with Torana on the east wall of the western chamber, a small, so if you think of western chamber, the east side facing wall. A small entrance with mutilated image on Lalat Bimba, birds and animals carved for decoration in and outside suggests that the western wall is remaining part of a Hindu temple. The Arabic-Persian inscription found inside a room mentions that the mosque was built in the 20th regnal year of Aurangazeb. What's the conclusion here? The pre-existing structure appears to have been destroyed in the 17th century during the reign of Aurangazeb, and part of it was modified and reused in the existing structure. Based on the scientific studies, surveys carried out, the study of architectural remains, exposed features and artifacts, inscriptions, art and sculptures, it can be said that there existed a Hindu temple prior to the construction of this existing structure. There you go, guys, QED. Now, what is going to happen next? We have to wait and see how this progresses through the courts. Of course, it will be appealed, but I think there is a view coming around that perhaps the Muslims of India might say, okay, we will let you build these two temples, that is Kashi Vishwanath and Mathura Krishna Janmabhoomi, and we can call it at that point that, we will not do any more of these things. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Again, there is no guarantee that people will stop at that. All I can tell you is the way it is going now, it's just a matter of time before you will get the Gyanvapi at Kashi also. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications, and I will see you again with a similar episode very soon. Namaskar.